Hey, thanks everybody for joining us today. Live Music Nation podcast. I'm your host, Jake Gill. Today we are with Rosanne Lockhart. She is from the Front Range Yoga in Montana. This is interesting. I'm looking forward to learning more. Rosanne, tell us a little bit about you, where you grew up, and talk a little bit about your career.
Sure. Hi, good morning, everyone. Rosanne Lockhart here. I grew up in New York City in Manhattan, and it's been quite the strange journey that landed me. I'm actually in Billings, Montana now, which is the big city in Montana,
Right.
but it's still 100,000 people. But I went from Manhattan to Telluride to law school in Missoula, and then ended up accepting a clerkship in north central Montana, like super rural, near the Canadian border. And I thought I'd be there for a year to work for this judge that I really respected and admired. And I thought, hey, I can do anything for a year. I'll get this on my resume, and then I will be on my way to where all the Montana transplants like land in Bozeman or Missoula or Whitefish. I wasn't scared of being a Montana transplant. And as it turned out, I ended up living in Shoto, this tiny town that's along the Rocky Mountain front. And I mean, it's 2 hours from everything and anything. It's just ag, farm, ag, ranch country. And I mean, big surprise to me and everybody that knows me was that I actually loved living out there. So I ended up clerking for this judge for 3 years, and then they needed a county attorney in the next county over. So I ended up doing a county attorney gig for 2 years. I was up for election last year. I ended up taking a new job in Billings. So that's just kind of been a weird runner around.
All the way from New York. Very good. So tell us about Front Range Yoga and what that event looks like.
No, sure. So Front Range Yoga was born in 2019. Honestly, it's a side passion gig. I did my yoga teacher training in 2018, and I had gone to the Telluride Yoga. I had volunteered at the Telluride Yoga Festival for a couple of years and just loved it. And I just, I was really new to yoga at the time. And I feel like that's when I really took a deep dive into the practice and just learning more. And that's when it really resonated with me that it would kind of be part of my life forever. And I just thought, there's a need for yoga in these rural parts of Montana. And I thought this would just be a fun event, honestly, just kind of, and we're equidistant from Whitefish, Missoula, Bozeman, kind of a lot of the major cities in Montana. So I thought this is a good excuse to just come out to this rural, peaceful, bucolic area, have a nice little retreat for 2 days, and that's really all it was and still is.
So give our listeners an idea. What does it look like? What does it sound like? What does it feel like? What does it smell like? Do you have vendors? Do you have other things going on? Describe that for us.
Yeah. So it has this really down to earth feeling. It's not kind of, like this kind of bougie yoga festival. It's a really homemade event. So the town of Shoto like really welcomes everybody coming, because it's such a small town that even like a couple hundred people coming in is a pretty big deal. So it's like even the townspeople that don't do yoga are keeping their businesses open for special hours. They're doing special kind of yoga menus at the 3 restaurants in town. We do a little pop-up restaurant, a pop-up yoga shop. And the way the yoga studios work are, I just rent out empty spaces in downtown Shoto. So this is only like a 4-block radius we're talking about. And I rent out these spaces that are just kind of empty, and we clean them every year. We set them up with yoga, just set them up as an empty studio. And then we host yoga classes. So people just come in, they have a schedule. And now it's a 3-day event. So
Wow.
you just choose, you look at your schedule, you choose what classes you want to go to, and then and just kind of everything's walking distance. So you just walk to whichever studio you want to go to, and you decide how many classes you want to go to, which classes you want to go to. And we do a community lunch so that we can all break bread together. And we've had music every year. Yeah.
Fantastic. What a growth you have seen from that. It's amazing. For you, I mean, obviously you understand the benefits of yoga, you understand the benefits of a lot, but what about the benefits of community, getting people together? That's from the event side of it. That's where I get excited, because people coming together with commonalities and common interests. There's power in that, and you know that, and I know that, but how have you been able to share that? Like, you think that's just the secret of the growth of it, or is there more?
Oh, absolutely. I think that's just the heart of the event. Is it's like, yeah, we're all coming together to do yoga and deepen our practice, or, from every stage, whether you've been doing it or whether you're really new to it or not. But I think, at least for me, and I don't know, I think my passion behind it has so much to do with is like creating these new friendships. It honestly feels like a yoga family reunion every year. Like every year, I mean, we've had like the same teachers returning a lot, like most years. And then I always add new ones too, but like we have the same guests coming back, and then they bring their family, they bring their friends, and then they meet like new people. And it just really feels like this meeting of new and old friends every year. It's like, hey, we have this weekend in Showa together. And I think that's really, I think that's just really what, like you said, like where the power is. It's just so special, and it's so, you just feel so connected. And because Shoto is so quiet and it's so rural and there's no distraction, it feels like you're taking a step back in time. There's no rush for anything. I mean, you can't even rush in Shoto if you wanted to. I mean,
You'd be out of town quick, wouldn't you?
Yeah, traffic.
Oh, that's fantastic. Rosanne, what do you see for the future? What kind of growth plans do you have in place?
I think, for me, and who knows kind of how it'll organically grow and expand, but I think last year was the first year I tried to like really start implementing other aspects. Like we brought in like facials and guided hikes and like massages and all of these things. And I just kind of realized that people are coming for the yoga, and like all this extra stuff. It's great, and people definitely used it. But for me, because, this is like a passion project, I just kind of realized in order for this to be sustainable on my end, I have to really like make it. I just really need to kind of prioritize and focus on what matters. So we're capping the event this year at 200 people, and that's kind of where I expect it to stay. And I don't want to lose that the intimacy of it.
Yeah. No, I understand that, and I think you sometimes you said it best. You lose your focus, but when you've got your main thing, the reason that people are coming in, and the main benefit of getting everybody together in the commonality. You want to include everybody that you can, but sometimes it's about that cause and about that reason that you've got. That's perfect. That's amazing what you guys are doing there. Okay, talk a little bit about the music that you guys have.
So the music, also a very own feel. From the first year, very intentionally, but I also guided by budget, but very intentionally, we're looking for Montana, like local bands, just to kind of highlight, just bringing in that community aspect, that just kind of looking for local bands to just highlight and showcase, basically. So we had this band called Wheelhouse out of Shelby, Montana. Really beautiful voices, beautiful guitarists, but they, but they're no longer together. And then so they came for the first couple of years, and then we brought in Archertown from like Kalispell Whitefish area, who are amazing. Really check them out. They played Big Sky, the Big Sky Music Festival, I think the past couple of years, and I think they're playing this year too. And they've come, yeah, I'm a huge fan of them. I think that was like really a selfish endeavor on my part.
That's good. That's good. That's perfect. Okay. So we talked a little bit about it, but just by the off chance someone's not into yoga, is this a place they can get started?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, and that's part of it too, is that I wasn't super into yoga when I volunteered at the yoga festival years ago. And it was a yoga festival when I was like, oh, this is great.
No, that's awesome. Okay. 2 questions I ask at every interview because I am in live music and live entertainment. First question is this: what is the best concert you've ever seen your entire life?
Oh, man. So 2 things kind of pop out for me. I saw the Revivalists at Red Rocks a couple of years ago, which was phenomenal, and the weather was great, and just the whole ambiance. I mean, it's Red Rocks. I think I think that's enough said. But I think my favorite memory of a concert was back in the early 2000s when I was in high school, and Fall Out Boy was opening for Less Than Jake.
Oh,
and
wow.
So they're playing at this tiny venue in Union Square, and they're like, "Oh, we need somebody to come up on stage," and 15 years old, Anyway, I ended up getting on stage and dancing with them, and it was the best.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, dead or alive, you could bring one musical act to the Front Range Yoga Festival. Who you bring in?
Oh gosh, right now it's Zach Bryan.
Yeah,
I love Zach,
especially in Montana. How cool would that be?
Gosh, yeah.
Okay, so I gotta ask, because you've got I'm just Googling you here. You've got a beautiful family. So I know the podcast can't see this, but on YouTube, let me see if I can get this right so the light's not reflecting. It's not gonna come. Oh, there. Wait, hold on. So I gotta ask, who are these 2 special people in your family? And look at that beautiful dog. Oh my gosh.
I know. Oh gosh, those are my best friends in the entire. My husband Evan, we met on CatholicMatch.com in
There you go.
And he was in Seattle. I was in Conrad, Montana, and we met. He came to Montana. 6 months later, we got engaged. 6 months after that, we got married. And thank you. And now it's like a year after that, and we're expecting our first baby actually at the end of June, really close to the yoga festival.
Oh wow. Well, maybe it'll all help. It'll all work together. But what about the dog? What's his name?
And that's Hudson. He's 10 this year, and he's a Saint Bernard Bernese Mountain Dog. He is the best.
Yeah,
just my
beautiful.
best. Yeah.
Very cool.
If anything, just go to our, check out our page just to see pictures of Hudson, because
that's what I just did. All right, Rosanne, this is a new segment that we added. You get to ask me one question. What question would you ask?
Oh gosh. What event are you most looking forward to?
What event am I most looking forward to this year?
Yeah.
Gosh. Well, you know what? We love coming to Montana. So we're playing a bull riding rodeo in Deer Lodge, Montana. And cool. There is a phenomenal golf course about 1 hour from there. And I'm looking forward to playing that golf course as much as I am playing the concert that night. So yeah, that would be great. That's a good question. Rosanne, how do people find out more about Front Range Yoga?
So you can go to the website at frontrangemt.com, Instagram, Facebook. Yeah, just all the mediums.
Perfect. Perfect. Very good. Rosanne, thanks for joining us today. I appreciate it.
Well, baby,